right, hello, and welcome to the Spacejumper podcast. My name is Jared, and I am your host. Today we have a very special guest. Some may even say that he is the king of home renovations.
Hey.
Mr. Christian Walker. Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you for having me, man. This is gonna be a good little time. Good little talk. Yeah, for sure.
Man, I got this thing started probably about a week ago, and we've been running ever since. So had to work out some kinks. There's been a couple things that I have to kind of maneuver around as far as electronic problems and the recording process. And let me just go ahead and say, it is a skill to public speak.
Really?
To get out and speak with different types of people and be able to hold conversation and ask quality questions and things like that. It's tough.
For sure. And so I know. That's yeah. That's what, so I host I'm a sponsor at this real estate meetup.
Right.
And I've got to speak like every time and stuff. And like I used to sing. I don't know if you knew that.
I think I saw a couple things. Yeah. Around Christmas time, dude. You posted this one thing. I'm like, damn. This guy can belt out.
Hey man, that's what I used to. That used to be the blast from the past, but yeah, I used to do that. We're actually today we got the band group message going back.
What?
Yeah, man, doing like once a month just to keep it up for fun. But it's gonna be a good little time. Those were fun.
So, do you play any other instruments, like besides
I do.
singing?
Guitar.
I guess that would be considered an instrument. Your voice.
Yeah. Guitar, piano, ukulele, harmonica, and what else? Drums. Yeah.
Okay, dude. The drums is one of those things that always got me because it's like you have to keep a rhythm for one thing, and then you have like so many options on noises that you have to hit in sync. So it's tough. My friend Logan, he's actually coming up tomorrow. Him and both my friends really that are on their way tomorrow morning. They are extremely good at a lot of instruments. But Logan he always was like the guy that's on the drums and so it's a skill.
Yeah, I had so I got my first kit for the a electronic kit, and I did it in college. I feel bad for my roommate, man. I was just I had the ears on, and then I would just be in my room just doing it. But I know you're hearing it from the other room. It's like you're just clicking, banging, and
right.
Hey, but he had his little fair share of flaws too. So hey, we're good.
Yeah, the electronics ones were always interesting because you could just if you put headphones on, all you just hear is
yeah,
and then you have the headphones and it's just just music,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I always wanted to be able to sing. I was not a good singer.
Yeah.
I tried a couple times in various forms, but it was never one of those things where I was never good enough where anything ever stuck.
Yeah.
So here we are podcasting.
Yeah, there you go. We got the cool little setup, man, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man, like I was telling you before we started this thing, my boy OG Johnny 23, he has his name tagged in the corner there. I was walking in Edo here in Houston, or East Downtown for those of you who are not familiar with Houston. But I was walking and I saw this crazy design on this wall. And I looked, and I knew that I was looking for an artist to do my work. And he there it was, OG Johnny 23 on the wall. So I hit him up on Instagram. I was like, hey man, I'm starting a podcast. You interested in getting this thing on the wall for me? And he was like, absolutely. So I kind of told him what the podcast was about, which is about anything and everything. And he was like, done. Sent me this, and he came down and painted it a week later. So,
nice, yeah. The only thing that I'm good at drawing is a tree. Hey, that's the one thing that is my go-to. Anything else, out the window. Right. My artistic ability is zero.
Yeah, I drew this really cool BMW with a pencil, and I was shading it and trying to kind of get the contrast perfectly. And I had an art teacher in middle school who I do not think was a fan of me. And so I entered this, BMW into the contest, and it was at the Texas State Fair or something.
Yeah.
And a week later, because I was like, hey, I'm looking, did I place? Did I even get recognized? And she was like, oh, I forgot to turn it in. And I'm like, oh my God.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. So it is what it is. Another thing that didn't stick. I'm all about
Yeah.
throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what does. So.
Yeah. Actually, now that you say the state fair, they had, so in kindergarten, like the teacher drew our names on a piece of paper. We had to just deck it out like in crayons or whatever.
Right.
And I made it in the state fair. My name, I was in there. I was like, dang, boy, like I'm proud. Yeah. And I'm walking in, I'm saying, that's my name right there, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Walking around with your parents, like, look, that's what I did in art class.
And then nobody else, I mean, it's all your parents. That's it. But
Right,
like everybody
yeah.
else is like, oh, dang, it's just a paint, like, kid with a crayon.
Right. Exactly. Oh man. Yeah. That's definitely a skill, is singing and being artistic with your drawing. Harmonica is one of those things that I feel like, cause you get the harmonica and it's in a certain key,
Yep.
and I still can't even make that thing sound good.
No, it's a cool little party trick when I have that little that piece that like puts on your neck and then you can play and sing or play and play at the same
Now
time.
that's cool. Yeah, that's a skill.
And then the Piano Man too. That one that was one of my go-to songs. And
Yeah.
there's only two songs that I knew how to do that with, and it was that one, and I forgot the other one, but. It's pretty cool.
It's tough. I dated a girl here in Houston actually, probably last year, and she was like phenomenal at the piano. Like, I mean, she was like doing some crazy stuff. You know. Come here, Larry. Just trying to get this bottle cap. Maybe it'll settle him down and have a little tequila soaked in it.
Yeah, no joke. That'll get me for sure.
But anyways, man, well, let's go ahead and get into it. You're doing some really cool stuff, and you're active all the time. Whether it's working with customers or I guess getting with meetings and things like that. So what is your background and how did you get into doing what you do?
So let's see. I went to A&M, went to school over there.
What was your degree in?
Just general business.
General business, okay.
Just general business, and I did not so I got the real estate bug. Like, what was that, my junior year? And I was just started Grant Cardone. I don't know. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
So he's like a big apartment syndicator, and he's very vocal about his stuff. But he's the one that got me catching the itch,
Right.
And so for 6 months straight, I would do straight books, podcast, investor meetups. People would, I still remember my roommates would come in, in my room and stuff. Hey, we're going out. Come on, let's go. I said, nah, I'm I got to study. I was like, man, I ought to beat myself up if that was the case,
Right, exactly.
But it's, it paid off now. But, so it started there. And then, my parents kind of saw that I was catching the bug and stuff. And so they sent us home from COVID, and that's when I bought my first house. So I had $50,000 for my parents loaned me on the house, and I ended up flipping that. I put about $7,000 into it, and then turned around and sold it for $125,000.
What?
And to split that up, so we just went in halves, and they brought the money. I did the work and managed the people and stuff. Split that up, and then I got my next one. My next one was another house I bought for $15,000.
What?
Yeah. So, and then I sold it.
Was this in Beaumont?
It was in Port Arthur.
Port Arthur, okay.
Yeah. So I bought it and turned around. I didn't touch it. I owner financed it. So, I had a loan out for $15,000, and I asked for $15,000 down from the person. So they put, the bank was paid off after that, and then they were paying me. I think it's $600 or something for, 10 years or something like that. So that is paying off my truck, you know, and I just got a free kind of cash flow for 10 years for doing. I didn't touch the house,
Right.
So then I did a couple more flips with some partners until I started buying my own, and then after that, so that's my first business is the investment business, and then people started seeing me what I was doing and stuff, and then they're like, hey, can you do that to my kitchen? Can you do that? Can you put some floors in here? I'm like, dang, oh, there's another business. I'm like, I got crews right now, you know, like, yeah, y'all go over there for a couple weeks and I'll put my markup in it and just make the money. So that's kind of how the renovation business kicked off. And then so I'm doing that kind of for a few years. And then now we're starting to get into some apartment buildings. I own another business that does apartment like contracting and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So we're in Beaumont, we're here in Houston, in Austin, and Corpus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys are pretty spread across this region, really.
Yep.
That's impressive, man. Yeah.
Yep. So I've hustled my ass off. Like it's been crazy, you know, like just to see, I mean, cause I'm always stressed out, you know, cause I got so many things going on and my renovation business is really starting to kick off now. And I'm like, hold on, like my brain is like full of stuff. So I got to step back. I'm like, dang, like I've came like just being proud of where I came from, you know. I didn't start, you know, I mean, people think like, oh, 50,000, like, but like I mean, after that first deal, I did 3 other deals with other partners and, you know, they were no relation to my family at all. So it's just bringing the good deals to people. But,
yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody needs that like intro, you know, that intro into the field that they're going to be in, you know, and that kind of leads to more opportunity.
Yep.
So, man, and just going back to, you said you got this bug, you know, this real estate bug. Was that from like friends that you were with, or it maybe a business class that you were in?
Yeah. So our neighbor growing up, had, you know, a few shopping centers in Beaumont and stuff like that. And I kind of saw how, not really like in super in depth on how he was, but like just how he woke up at, you know, 9 in the morning at like on Tuesday or something or whatever, just kind of do whatever he wanted.
Right.
It's a little more in, you know, you got to do stuff, but like just kind of running your own thing and being your own person. Cause that's what, like, I really think like that was one of the cases, but, I think it really all kind of like stemmed down to the singing stuff. Like when I did that so early, like I'd be going to gig around and stuff. So like in that case, like I was my own business.
Sure.
So, you know, I was making my own money and doing like hustling out for gigs and doing that. And then now it's hustling out for jobs and getting real estate deals and stuff like that.
Right. That common denominator, that hustle right there.
So that's what it all kind of came from. And, just like my main drive is just like to help out my future, whoever it is, future family, future kids.
Right.
And just to kind of be like, put in the work right now and I can kind of coast later on.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a great plan. You know, and from where you came to where you are now is an amazing progress over time. You know, so you know you were talking about how, you know, you have a lot of components going on in what you're doing right now. Are you hiring like managers and people that are kind of overlooking specific jobs? Is it per job site or is it per region?
For the Core Group is my commercial business. That's the ones that we do it all over Texas. So that's per region. We've got, so me personally, I have a VA, and that's when I found the VAs, like it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like love.
Wait, what exactly is that?
Virtual assistant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I'm not fancy enough to have one of these yet.
Oh, hey, you should definitely try it because my lady, she, so they're both from the Philippines. And so you can find them on like Upwork and, stuff like that. But how I found her, I went to this like networking real estate meetup in Maui, last summer. And, me and a friend, I met this guy there, and then now he's my business partner. We were using, like, we went into this deal together to start wholesaling. So like that was, I'm not a fan of the wholesale, but we had this the assistant that we shared,
right.
And then ended up, he kind of let her go. And so I picked her up and she's been with me full time.
So she's in the Philippines working in for like
everything,
doing US work?
Yeah.
Okay,
everything
cool.
all over the computer. Like she'll run my social media. She'll run email management, manage my
What?
businesses, edit my
Wow.
videos. What else? I mean, literally anything an assistant can do here. I mean, it's pretty much like all online. Like,
Wow.
you know, and then in the Philippines, they only make, so their average salary a year for a person is less than, like, it's like a little more than $9,000. Like
Wow.
It's like right at 9,000.
So she's balling.
Yeah, I think. But hey, I heard somebody. So like everybody, like when I go talk at my our like networking events, I speak about VAs and stuff like that, and people come up to me and they're like, oh, send me, like, can you hook me up with someone? I'm like, yeah, I can ask my lady if she knows anybody. So like there'll be people asking her, and then she's like, and then I heard back from one of the people, and she's like, man, she's like super like loyal to you. I'm like, oh, thank God. Like I was getting scared that she was getting some side work or something like that and kind of pushing it off. But she's been, I mean, like really, like, cause I'm not very organized at all. And she can, neither. I mean, schedule out. She does, it's just so nice. It's so nice. And then, so I give her $8. And then, it works for me cause it's, cost efficient. And it works for her because, like, she's making a good lick, so it's like a win-win for both. And then I do have a cold caller over there too. So she sounds just like us, and they'll be calling like apartment buildings and property management companies and stuff like that to try to get us some business and seeing if there's anything that they need to have any bids coming up or anything like that.
Right.
But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man, that is effective. Honestly, that sounds really effective, and it gives you more time to actually process what you're doing on your business side of things, and letting kind of like the background just kind of be filled out. Yeah, that's impressive. That's very cool. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. That's what nobody knew. Like that's what I didn't have any idea before I went to that trip in Maui. And so one of the speakers there, he has like 200 of them. And like they got call centers and everything like that, and he's like speaking on like how great they are. I'm like, I didn't even listen to it. Like I was there, but I didn't even listen to that speak because I'm like, this is just like way over my head.
Right.
And then that's when I met my partner now, and he used them, and I'm like, dang, well, I guess I might as well look into it.
Right.
And then after that, I mean, I recommend it for not just business, real estate, like anything,
personal, yeah.
Like bookkeeping, stuff like that, everything. Like,
wow.
So
yeah, that's really cool. So, another thing that I've been noticing that you're doing is you're facilitating these meetings, at different locations. Like I believe you had one last night I saw online.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So we put together like a investor meetup. So it's just where a bunch of local investors just show up, and we get to just talk real estate, talk investing. Like there's different people for every little, everything. Like I'm mainly a flipper. They got flippers there. They got renters, or landlords. They got other little, lenders and stuff like that. So it's just a bit of everybody, and agents, and everybody's just all in the same, just sharing a, common knowledge and just having something to talk about,
Wow. So, and that's is there output there? Like, it's a beneficial meeting?
Yeah. I mean, like yeah. So like when I started sponsoring it, like I'm up in the front, and like my face is shown a lot more. And,
I see. So you're like one of the sponsors.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so I'll get up there, and like people come up to me, and it's like, it's so weird. It is so weird because like I used to be like that person going up to somebody else to ask him like what, like it's like how far I've come is crazy. And it's like how the tables have shifted, like people are asking me out to lunch to come pick my brain. And I used to do the same thing like a few years ago for other people. And it's just like, it's a cool how like it's very like, it's a cool experience. You know?
Man. Yeah. You've been working brick by brick, placing one on top of another. And here you are, man.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what, my hustle, like there's a very few people that can hustle more than me. Like,
Right.
and it's I don't know. My motor's running, man.
Yeah, that's good, man. It seems like you always have business on your mind, and that's one of the key things to become successful,
Yep.
or quote unquote, successful as in, money and whatnot. But, another thing, what is like your, what is your day like? Your typical day? I mean, are you're waking up at you have like a certain schedule or?
Yeah, I mean, it all kind of really depends. I try to keep it ish. Like, I mean, each day's really different. It
Right.
really so like.
Pros of being your own boss.
I mean, yeah, I guess sometimes, but like there was one day I wake up and my phone is ringing nonstop. I'm on the phone, bam, 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 all day long. I'm like, oh, this is rough. I counted my calls one day and it was like, what did I have? 79 phone calls in a day. I'm like, golly, y'all go talk to somebody else. Like, don't stop talking to me,
Wow.
But hey, that's
But yeah, that just shows that people respect you and they want to hear what you have to say, and they'll probably run ideas across you and all kinds of other things, as far as business goes. So yeah, man, I see you on social media or and I see you moving all the time. So it's good to see that, it's good to know that people like you are out there. So just in general, you said you were a flipper. So when you're approaching a buy, you go and you look at a house, how are you approaching this? Like what are you looking for?
Yeah. So, really, I mean, so it's like a very simple, dumbed down version of how to look at a flip property is like what's the ARV, after repair value? So for easy numbers, there's a house that would sell for 100,000 and, so like, that's the comps, like everything around that area is selling for like around 100. So then for me, it's 70% ARV minus repairs. So, like the $100,000 house, I got to buy it at 70,000 minus however much it takes to repair it. So just say, another 10,000 or whatever. So
Right.
I've got to get that at 60 for it to make sense for me.
Right.
And normally down in Beaumont and that area, I find that pretty easy. Over here, it's a little more. It's probably closer to like 85%.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Houston market's pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. It's. I've tried to get over here, but I'm like, I got a good little thing set up over there.
Right.
So I might as well just kind of keep it rolling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. And Beaumont and that whole Golden Triangle right there is just on the grow, man. People are flooding in from all different areas, moving into Texas, and even since a couple years ago when I moved to Houston, man, I've seen some growth. We got new buildings, new houses popping up.
Yep.
They're busting down old places. There's a across the street is FM Kitchen.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They had a vacant property right there. They busted that building down and built that pickleball bar.
Really?
And so it's and let me just say it's packed from morning to night.
Really?
I hear 'em
That's what
just
I tried.
whacking-
I tried to
whacking the
get
heck
some
out of that
people to
thing.
go last weekend. I was here. I was trying to go play pickleball,
Yeah.
and everybody bailed. I was like, God.
Oh man, yeah, it looks like a fun time. I've never played pickleball. I had somebody explain it to me, and it seems similar to tennis, minus a few different rules, and of course the ball is different. But yeah, I've never played. I think that originally pickleball started out for I guess for low impact type thing, and here it is just kind of booming. Especially people from 18 to 40. So.
Yeah. Don't count those old folks out, man. That's what. Well, we went to play. This was a couple months ago, and there was this probably he was in his 60s, 70s, just sitting there with a big bucket of balls, just like working on the spins. I'm like, damn, this is serious right here.
And perfecting his craft.
Yeah, man.
So, you go and you look at a house. What is like the criteria for purchase? You know, I know you have a little you have an idea in your mind on what you need to repair and how you're going to do it and within budget, right? So when you are approaching that, is there usually, I mean, does it usually go as planned, or is there like a lot of like you get to dig in and you're like, oh shit, like
So, well, yeah. Sometimes I've had a okay. So, like generally speaking, when I go in now that I've done, I mean, I think I'm around 20-ish houses from my personal flips, and then I know telling how many with the renovation stuff. So I know like what I'm looking for and how it's supposed to flow and everything, and how much like where my numbers are in my head. But like for somebody like that's just starting out. Has no experience at all, walk it with a contractor like to get that price in your head. So when you're looking, you're like, okay, I know this house would sell for 100,000. So but yeah, so like I know it would sell for 100, and now I got a legit contractor's price, so I know, so the 70% minus his price is what I can offer for that house. But yeah, so I mean that's what I want. Like I tell anybody, if you find deals like that and you don't know how to buy it or don't have the money, like come to me. Like I'm more than happy we can split the deal and stuff, and I'll be your little mentor and stuff like that. So
cool. So you're taking on kind of like people who want to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I mean that's how I started. We went halves together, and I'm more than happy to do the same. Like kind of putting.
Man, pushing it forward.
I was the grunt man back in the day. Like I was running around, going back and forth, Lowe's, managing the contractors, and it was a lot of running, but
Right.
it taught me so much. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, doing the grunt work usually does. Some of the best owners of restaurants just started in the kitchen. So, man, yeah, you never know what you start and how it's going to end. So, when you're approaching this, is there a certain aesthetic that you're going for? Like, I know there's different styles, of course, but are you being strategic on like placing an island in the middle, or like painting the walls a certain color? Like, is there a certain like strategy
so
to that?
now I mean we're doing two currently, and we're doing the same paint, same flooring, same trims, all that, same like everything. So it's just like the leftover materials can be used on some other places, because like if you start changing them, every one of them out, you're gonna have leftovers that you can't have any, you can't do anything with.
Right.
So, that's that's how I used to kind of do it at first, and I still have some of the leftovers in one of my trailers, and I'm like, dang, just wasted money right here.
Yeah. I know we used to, or my dad used to buy and remodel homes,
Oh, yeah?
and we would make trips up to Mexico or to Brownsville, Texas to visit family. And we would cross the border, and man, they would have all kinds of beautiful tile over there that we would bring home on a trailer.
Yeah.
And we would use it in our houses and other houses. So, and it's crazy how you can, kind of change the aesthetic in homes and things like that.
Yeah.
So are there any difficulties? Like, what kind of problems do you run in, like, or have you ran into flipping?
Yeah, this one hurt. We're actually one of the two that we're doing right now. So it was like sheetrocked all inside, and then the sheetrock was really old, so we had to demo it anyway. But like when you're walking the house before making that offer, like you had
Can't
no
see
idea
through it,
what was underneath. We pulled it back. The whole house was termites.
Oh crap!
The whole house had to get rewired. Like,
Oh crap!
brand new AC. Like the big ticket items were like, oh my gosh. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll still hit our budget, because like we were trying to cut back on some other little things to make our budget work. But yeah, that was not fun to find.
Yeah.
Not fun to find at all.
Yeah. So, and how are you placing those in priority? Like, obviously you got to have AC.
Yeah.
But you go and you look, and how are you? I guess managing budget. You're going in and
Yeah, it's. I mean, really, it's like for me being in it so long, like I know what things are going to cost.
Sure, and that's what you could add with the 70%.
That's where you can add and like subtract and stuff like that. Like, but like knowing what is necessary is like step one. You know, you need no termites. You need like solid studs in the walls and stuff like that. That's gonna hold the house up.
Sure.
You need that. Like, you don't need like the kitchen. So there's the kitchen countertop that we have with the backsplash. It's a little older. It still looks good, but we were gonna change that out previous, but instead, like, we'll leave it, and it's not gonna change anything on the house or anything like that. But it's just like there's things that we had to cut back on to still hit our budget. So things, stuff like that.
Right, man. I know. Even me, I'm obviously not budgeting as much or utilizing, a spreadsheet as much. But dude, I'll get on Excel and I'll pop most of my stuff in Excel and just kind of have like a general, like income, bills and stuff. And that's kind of what I use when I'm like looking at finances.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely a skill being able to kind of look and observe and kind of monitor. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah, that's like, that's what my partner on this one. I don't like. He's very knowledgeable about processes and everything like that, and I'm more of the construction mind. Like, I know how to get things done and stuff like that. So that's kind of how we work. We're working really well together on that house.
Right.
But obviously the hiccups come, and just got to take them with a smile, man.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause that's what, that's what we were talking the other day. It's like all these problems, like, don't think of them bad, like every problem that you went through, you're still alive, you're still doing good.
Yeah.
But it's like the mindset, like if you're going to grow and learn so much from that. And then it's like, for me, like these flip houses, like, oh yeah, I'm going to make this amount of money on it. And then problems like that pop up. And then it's like, oh, well, dang, like, I guess I'm not going to make as much, or I'm going to get like even or whatever. And it's just like, you got to have the abundance mindset of like, more going to come. Like, this is what we're going to do. This setback is going to like push me forward on these other things that I'm not going to mess up like that again.
Right.
So like, there's obviously some things I've learned through this house and through every house. It's all, it's really cool, like really deep. Like, life is just like a learning journey. And that's what and you just got to learn how to love to learn, you know?
Wow. Oh, that's actually really deep. Yeah.
Dang. Hey, hold on. No, I didn't even know. Like, learn how to learn to love, man. Or wait, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, no, that's what. Sheesh.
Are you sure you don't want a beer?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Man, yeah, I know. It's definitely a unique process is living life. You obviously go through and experience things, and in those experiences, you take out wisdom that you could use for your next decision. And yeah, man, I guess that's in anything that you do. That's what I'm doing here, dude. I had my very first podcast a couple weeks ago, and man, I ran into some issues. It was problem after problem, but each time, we start adjusting, and it gets smoother and smoother and smoother, and here we are, podcast number 7.
There we go. Yeah. Well, this is my number 2 right here.
What?
Yeah, the first one I was like, I'm like, do I have something to talk about for an hour? I'm like, I don't know, but I can talk, man. I could let me give me a mic in my face, and I'll can let me go.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's definitely a skill talking. I was just telling somebody today, man. It's I'll go out there and talk, but once you do like a podcast or something like that, it is so tough. It's definitely an acquired skill to be able to hold conversation for a continual period of time. And I guess it comes down to public speaking, and I had a public speaking professor in college who would constantly say, repetition and redundancy. Every time you would come in, repetition and redundancy. He'd just walk around the room saying that. And he would say that that is the only way to get better and to do things is to be, repetitive and redundant. And dude, even to this day, man, I still remember that,
Yeah.
And he was obviously a public speaking professor or communications, and he was in several commercials and several big name films and things like that. So he took a lot of his wisdom and was really spreading it in his classroom, which I am greatly appreciative of.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I could.
So that class was speech or what?
Yeah, it was like public communication and speech. Yeah.
Oh man, I hated that class.
Yeah.
I was so, oh my gosh, my teacher failed me on that.
Oh crap.
Yeah, because for our final test or whatever, like we had to give a speech, and I wrote my speech like on a paper, but you're supposed to have like note cards. But I'm behind a podium,
Right.
and so it's like I'm reading a little bit, looking up and looking at the room, like just glancing back and down, and everybody's doing the same, but with note cards. And I'm like, what does it matter? Like if the message is getting across, if I got good eye contact out there, I'm like,
right. And
so
you
I had
to go through the process of like switching cards.
Yeah, and I had to end up dropping
fumbling.
that class. So I paid. I mean, I don't know how much the classes are, but I think it's like $1,200 or something for nothing.
A&M probably more.
Yeah. So I was not a happy dude at that time.
Yeah. Another thing that I learned from that class is the Sarnoff squeeze. I will never forget that. Apparently, it's a method that actors or actresses use before they go on stage to kind of burn off like anxiety and excess energy. But what it is you take a deep breath in and you press your hands together as hard as you can as you slowly breathe out, exhale. And you do it maybe 4 or 5 times, and if you don't pass out, then you don't have any energy to spare.
Really?
So yeah, you do it 5 times, and you feel calm. You feel more at ease.
Yeah.
So,
That's what at the end of the day, I'm like, I get so stressed. I just take my deep breaths.
Yeah.
Like
Sarnoff
fill it up
squeeze,
and
man.
like I got to add the squeeze now. Yeah, for sure.
But
Dang.
overall, it works. Yeah, overall, it definitely works.
I got to try it. I'm halfway there. I'm taking the breaths. I just got to add the squeeze. That's
exactly.
it, man.
Yeah,
Just like
add that squeeze.
pushing some patties together.
So we talked about a couple things, obviously. But how are you how are you approaching strategies for your marketing and things like that?
Well, it's all been. So I guess I'll take the renovation business right now, but it's just because I do videos, like little short clips and stuff like that.
Right.
Just like informative things and stuff, just so people see me as like, I know they know that I know what I'm talking about. Like, so when they need something, they'll call me and I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So it's really, been a lot of referral deals. I've just a bunch of connections that I've made, and it's just slowly, my advertising.
Networking, baby. Networking.
It's really like my advertising is probably around 0, but like, I've got the cold caller going for the commercial stuff, but yeah, other than that, it's really just all kind of networking and just shaking hands, getting out there and being personable with people. Cause like I come in, like I went up to Austin last week to go walk in these apartments and just kind of shake hands and stuff. And ended up, that was from it was from my cold call, was one building. And I go up there and like just with a smile on my face, like just portray like the energy that like they need.
Right.
And so, after that we walked the jobs that they need, and she's like, I told him, I was like, please, like I'm trying to move up here to Austin. And if y'all could help me out, like that'd be so great, send me some jobs, like just making jokes and stuff. And they're like, well, here's 3 other properties. You should go by them and check and see if they want to do something. So I went and I got in my car and I hit all the rest of the 3, and we end up getting, now we got 5 bids to shoot out from just that one,
Man, what a great time to do renovations in Austin, man. They're trying to upgrade that place.
Oh, yeah.
Heavily. I went up there probably 2 years ago, and now I have a friend, my friend Nick, and he's from Austin originally, and he said he went back just recently, and he didn't even recognize the city because there are so many new buildings and new spots popping up and construction. So yeah, man, it's what a great time to do that.
I don't know. That's what I would like. I mean, being in the apartment business, like when you're driving through Austin, you don't even like really think about it. But then with my business being apartments and stuff, when I was driving through it, it's like every freaking block, every other block is like a different opportunity.
Yeah.
There's so much. But so hopefully, I'm trying to move up there. Hopefully soon, but we'll see. I'm trying to get my my 2 businesses for the flips and then the residential renovations to kind of run themselves. So the residential thing, it's almost there. We're like so close to I can not have to do anything. But the flips, that's a little more in depth, but I think we'll get there by the end of the year is my goal.
Right. So that is your plan to move to Austin and kind of establish a business base there.
Yeah, either here or Austin. But I love every time I go to Austin, I'm like, man, I don't want to leave. Like this is nice. Like outskirts, by the lake, stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's where I want to be.
Yeah, like I said, the last time I went to Austin, man, I stayed in a hotel like right on the lake, right on where everybody was on the water and paddleboarding, and it was awesome. Jeez, look at Larry. Hold on. I don't think the camera could see it, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's a different environment in Austin. You have people riding their bikes and walking their dogs. You know,
I just love being outdoors. Like just the vibes are like, man. Nice.
Yeah. And also everybody in Austin is like cool, like they're calm, they're not judgmental.
Yeah.
Everybody's fit, people are healthy over there.
Yep.
And overall it's just a good community. And I wouldn't mind moving to Austin myself, but if the opportunity ever arises.
Yeah. But I know why they're pretty fit, for sure. The food's kind of mid, but they left out a couple
barbecue.
They can lift out. Well, it's a hot take, but Salt Lick, I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, really?
I stopped by. I'm like, man, we got better stuff than that. But I know it's a big like historic thing, so
right.
Don't take it out on me. But
have you ever been to Terry Black's?
Oh,
dude, Terry Black's is good.
Yeah.
Franklin's is also good. Franklin's is probably one of my favorites.
Really?
It is so good. He came to an event over here in Houston, and he pulled up with like an F-450 with like 15 smokers behind his truck. I mean, the trailer was crazy.
Dang.
There, you could have to settle down, boy. But yeah, it's crazy, and that's a business in itself, being able to provide that much food on a mass scale,
Yep.
I have a friend that loves to smoke different briskets and meats and stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's like, maybe one day I'll make a business.
Yeah, that's what my dad, he loves to cook. He loves to cook. And he'll do grilling and stuff. He's like, man, I need to start something. I'm like, okay, I'll talk, but he can't.
Does he cook good?
I hope he doesn't see this, but he can cook pretty good. He can. Because I always make fun of him. I'm like, man, this is garbage.
Let's go. Shoot. Hey, let me know when y'all have a cookout, man. I'm in.
Yeah, man. It's like every week he'll do something,
So looking forward, what are your goals and aspirations for your businesses? I know you said you want to move to Austin.
Yep.
But beyond that, what kind of stuff are you looking at?
Well, so the investment business that I'm about to buy a piece of land, and back down in the Beaumont area, and put up like I think we can put like 16 to 18 units on there.
Wow.
So
that's
apartment investing is coming soon. Coming soon. It's right now it's houses, but like that's my next step up is the apartment stuff. So that'll be exciting to build, and because like now I've got my crews and everything, so I get labor at the bottom price.
Right.
So that could work out really well, and just like building the apartments and everything like that. For the renovation stuff, where I'm actually getting connected with a big realtor over here, and he's starting to send me deals for renovation stuff.
Wow.
So Walker, the name might change here shortly, but Walker Renovations for now is here in Houston. We're actually looking at a deal tomorrow. So,
Congratulations, man! I hope everything goes well for that, because I know the hustle it's real.
Yeah, no joke.
I had one of my friends come on, and we were talking about people normally just want things at the snap of a finger.
Yep.
But it's really good to speak with somebody who has built it up, layer by layer by layer, and is finally at this point where they're flourishing. So it's almost a breath of fresh air to see somebody productive, because there's so many non-productive people out there that are just happy with the bare minimum. So keep up the grind, man. It's
that's what I see.
respectable.
Like I'll see people like I'm 26 and I have friends that are 36,
Right.
and I see them and I'm like, dang, they're still kind of like they're still young,
Right.
like, but that's a 10-year gap. Like you can do anything in 10 years. Like seriously, if you're down and hustling hard, anything can happen for you. And that's kind of my mindset on things, is like I'm trying to hit, I've got a number in my head of where I want to be or what I need to be at that age. And sometimes it's good, sometimes that's bad, because if you don't hit it, it kind of messes you up. But I mean, it's still like stepping back and looking where you came from and just being content with what you have.
Right. Being humble about it too, as well, which is something that you are. So
yeah, I try to be. That's what I got. Some people that they're all flashy, and
right.
I'm like, man, for what?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I like. I have a hard time like being comfortable with saying, when I'm talking to somebody or something, it's like, yeah, I'll get my assistant to do it, like to send you over whatever.
Right.
He's like, I don't want to sound like kind of like,
Yeah.
he thinks he's like big stuff or whatever, but
yeah,
it's starting to roll off my tongue a little easier. But I that's the one thing that I don't want people to like look at me like is like, oh dang, he thinks he's too good for everybody or whatever. Right.
Well, I mean, when you're doing so much stuff, where you have so many components, in your life, I don't think that is flashy or anything. If that's what you have for your business and your business is succeeding, then hey, the only people that are gonna say anything are the people that don't appreciate the work that was put in to get there.
Yeah, that's what, like, people have no idea. They'll see my stories and like, man, like he's got, but the stuff that it took to get to those stories and posts and stuff like that, I'm like,
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, me having those 3 businesses, it's like that's like 3 full-time jobs all in one, know?
Yeah.
And it's very exhausting, but it's going to be rewarding one day and it'll pay off. And I truly believe that, like I pray about it. That's what, I try to keep God in the center of my business and everything like that. So that's when I start falling away from him, it kind of gets slow and stagnant and stuff. And then I'm like, all right, like it's time to refocus, focus back on him, and things start picking up again and doing that. So it's just like making a harmony between the two.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely good to have that spirituality when you're working very hard, so there's a light at the end of the tunnel, rather than just running around in pure darkness,
Yep, I know.
So with your businesses, are you looking to add more or reduce
Shoot,
some?
not now. Not
Combine.
now.
Combine.
I'm gonna. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
TBD.
know. TBD. Yeah, but for now, this is as much as I can take. But I want to build like this. My goal, is to build it and sell it. Build it and sell it. Like, so I think the commercial stuff is going to be the first one, or the renovations, because like my investments, you can't really. I don't know. It's a different kind of business path, but yeah, to build and sell those, and that's kind of and buy something else, build it and sell it, keep doing that.
Yeah. So have you ever thought about building? Just building homes?
So there was I have thought about it. I've got land deals being sent to me all the time, but just the cost of building and the house, like prices, especially like a couple months ago, nobody was really buying. So it's easier for me to have like something that's already built, like, because you can be left like holding the bag,
Right.
So with these houses, I have multiple exit strategies before I go into it. I want to do a flip, but I can keep it as a rental. I can keep, do it as an owner finance deal. There's just multiple exits when like the asset's already there. Sure. So with a new build, you have to build it to sell it, because you can't really. There's cases, but like ideally, it's not a very good rental to keep unless you can put multiple doors on that.
Right. Man, I wouldn't mind getting a duplex myself. Having a duplex. Obviously, I'm not looking to dive in any big business, as far as renovations or home building or anything. But I feel like a duplex would be the best idea for somebody who's just trying to lighten the load,
Yeah.
Live on one side and have somebody, rent the other.
That's the move, man.
Yeah.
That's the move. Yeah. There's a lot of people that look for that. Yeah. So those go pretty quick.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But when that's one of my friends actually, he texted me today. He bought one of those.
Oh, what?
Same kind of deal. I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yeah. You could pretty much almost live rent free if if you're tossing out the other side,
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's I guess it's just how do you want to lay the bricks? How do you want to stack the bricks?
Yep.
So
For sure.
but yeah, man. Well, that's really cool. Well, we pretty much covered a lot of stuff today, huh?
We did.
In such a
Took
such
through a
small amount of
journey.
time. I know we did. Let me see what's the time on this thing.
We weren't recording.
I know. I was like, no, we're gonna have to rerun it now. No, but well, shoot, man. Well, thanks for coming out. I will say that I really appreciate you for coming over here and kind of getting the word out of what you do and everything. So where can people find you at?
On Instagram or Facebook, but preferably Instagram. At Walker Texas Investor is where you need to be. Where you need to be all day long. I put out great tips. Try to help you out. If you have any deals, if you're trying to get started, what else? If you have renovation work, let me know. I'm the one-stop shop for the real estate. I'll help you. I'll help you get your first deal under your belt.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out, sir. I really appreciate this.
Thank you, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for coming
Thanks
to
for
the
having me.
Spacejumper podcast.